My New York Giants are once again facing the New England Patriots to decide who is the best team in the NFL. In honor of this, I decided to review one of the best football games on the NES. Well, I'm pumped up, I got my Giants headband on, and I'm ready to go! Well, did that matter the last time the two teams met in this? You know, when the Giants won? Wait a second. It beeped when I said there, it did it again! Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. So yeah, the Giants are gonna beat up the Patriots in the big game! What? I grew up in New Jersey and I always rooted for the Giants, even as a little kid. They've always been my team. I am not! I am not! The logo, it wore off. All right. In 1987, Tecmo released a football arcade game entitled Tecmo Bowl. It was a somewhat rare arcade cabinet which featured 2 arcade monitors, not unlike the 6-player X-Men arcade game. It was 1 to 4 players but featured only 2 generic teams to choose from, the Wildcats or Bulldogs. It entered and left arcades pretty quickly with little notice or fanfare. 2 years later, Tecmo would port this game over to the NES as John Elway's Quarterback. See what I did there? You all thought I was going to say Tecmo Bowl, right? Right? But I didn't. I've only used that joke in, I don't know, 4 other videos before this. Released in early 1989, Tecmo Bowl was the first NES game to feature real names and attributes of NFL players via a Players Association license. But there was no team license. That honor would go to the clunky NFL Football put out by LJN. However, the game utilized real team cities and team colors for the 12 best and most popular NFL teams from 1988. So, in effect, these were real NFL teams, just without the names and logos. In the one-player mode, your task is to defeat successive teams each week to make a run at the Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo's version of the... Damn it, there it is again. Coaching mode is a nice little bonus, where you only select plays but do not actually have any player control. Really, no one really played this mode, it was more like a curiosity. And then there's the fantastic 2-player mode, which I'll speak more of in a bit. Tecmo Bowl stuck well to its arcade roots in its gameplay. There are only 4 plays to choose from in running your offense. Each team has 2 running and 2 passing plays with the exception of Miami and San Francisco, which have 3 passing and 1 running play. The type of plays combined with the distinct player attributes results in each team actually having its own offensive and defensive strengths, weaknesses, and playing styles, even for special team plays of kickoffs, punts, and field goals. In keeping with the arcade style, there are only 9 players on the field, not unlike 10-yard fight, which definitely is not a simulation. Extra points and field goals could be easily blocked depending on what defender you chose. Covered passes almost always resulted in an interception instead of a dropped or deflected pass, and the ball could be thrown easily 80 yards. I guess Phil Simms really ate his Wheaties today. Sorry about that. In terms of the play style, Tecmo Bowl resembles football to a point. On running plays, you'll have to try and work your way around defenders carefully, and when passing, you'll have to cycle through to an open receiver before attempting a throw, as covered receivers will usually be intercepted by their defender. When you have the ball, getting caught by a defensive player will result in a mad wrestling match to see if you'll be tackled or will throw off the defender, and you'll have to avoid diving tackles, which will take you down automatically. Most defensive players usually have a higher top speed than offensive players, which means that even when you're in the clear, you'll most likely be stopped before an easy touchdown, as a train of defensive players will come catching up to you. This is a decent gameplay compromise, and I can see why the game designers went in this direction, or else you might have a lot of games where 20 touchdowns were scored. On defense, you first can select the player you want to control before the play starts. After the ball is snapped, you'll want to try and go after the ball carriers on running plays, being careful to avoid blockers who will throw you into the air, and on passing plays you'll either want to rush the quarterback or drop back to cover a receiver who may be open, in the hopes of intercepting the pass. The limited playbook of 4 selectable plays factors into this game and its style considerably. At the playbook selection screen before every down, the offense will choose their play to run while the defense will choose which of the 4 plays to cover. If the offense chooses a running play and the defense chooses a passing play, the offense has a big advantage on the play, with more defensive players being blocked by default. If the offense chooses a passing play and the defense a running play, almost all the receivers will be wide open for a pass. If the offense and defense both choose the same type of play, but not the same exact one, for example, the offense chooses run 1 and the defense chooses run 2, the play will mostly be covered by the defense, but there still will be an opportunity for the offense to gain some yards. Now, if the defense chooses the same exact play as the offense does, a broken play ensues where the offensive line implodes, resulting in the defense easily stuffing a run, or blitzing on the quarterback on a pass play, which is a high likelihood of either a defensive sack or an interception. I'm not sure what type of steroids the defense takes in the huddle when they choose the same play, but it's safe to say the quarterback's spine is now sticking out his mouth. This simple strategic element makes Tecmo Bowl seem almost like a game of football checkers, rather than a more complicated chess battle. On the surface, this would seem like a weakness, but it does at least make you think a little bit when selecting plays, especially in 2-player mode. Oh man, the 2-player mode is fantastic. Me and my best friend Kevin, we used to play this game almost every week. I'd be Los Angeles, and he'd usually be New York. And I just remember the fun times we'd have. Most of the time, I would probably come up short. I probably would lose 31-14 or 24-7. But it was okay. It was still fun. We had a great time, me and Kevin. One day, just while we're playing, I just managed to, look in the corner of my eyes while we were selecting plays, and he was looking at my controller. And I thought that was a little strange. But the next play, he totally, stuffed my running attack. And the next play, he totally blitzed my quarterback and I couldn't get a pass out. So it seems like my best buddy, my best friend Kevin, was always glancing at the plays I was selecting when I was running my offense. And that's why I couldn't score. So it seems that my best friend Kevin, for years, was cheating while playing me at Tecmo Bowl. You son of a bitch! What type of friend cheats at Tecmo Bowl? Let alone any NES game? What type of kid were you? That's why you could always defeat me. You weren't better than me at Tecmo Bowl. You didn't have a higher skill set than I did. You weren't any Tecmo Bowl genius. You were a dirty cheater. I hope you rot in hell, Kevin! I will find you, and you will pay for this Tecmo Bowl transgression! As mentioned previously, most of the players in this game have unique stats such as starting run speed, top running speed, and power to break blocks and tackles. Some players are ridiculously overpowered though, especially when it comes to their speed rating, which overall is the most important player stat in Tecmo Bowl. Take a look at Lawrence Taylor on New York and Bo Jackson, yes, that Bo Jackson, on Los Angeles, the 2 quickest defensive and offensive players, respectively. If I want to, I can run around the field as Bo while making the defenders look silly. I can even run backwards towards my own end zone if I want to. As LT, I can almost always block field goal and extra point attempts by blasting through the center and easily getting to the ball holder. In case you don't follow football, these type of things usually don't happen. And just to make sure there's no confusion that this isn't a football simulation, Tecmo Bowl has no fumbles, no drop balls or deflections, no audible plays, no fake punts or field goals, and barely any incomplete passes. It wouldn't be surprising to see a Tecmo Bowl game with 8 or 9 interceptions, but with not one incomplete pass. Blocking and breaking tackles is ridiculous but fun in this game. Look at how far players are thrown when they're hit. Hardcore Tecmo Bowl players affectionately refer to this ultra-violent phenomenon as making popcorn. This makes real NFL games look like an episode of Glee. What's the explanation for this? Are sticks of dynamite being shoved up players' asses? What's going on here? This charming goofiness extends to many other aspects of the game, such as the funny-looking crowd, the halftime show, whoa, and the high-fiving touchdown cutscenes. I guess I couldn't include the more true-to-life butt-slapping celebrations. The great tradition of outstanding Tecmo NES music continues in Tecmo Bowl. The music is energetic, it's lively, and really complements the fun factor that's presented here. It is an almost never talked about but a very underrated element of the game. When people think of football video games, Tecmo Bowl is one of the first ones that usually springs to mind, and for good reason. Tecmo Bowl is fun for football fans and non-fans alike, as it's fast-paced, action-packed, and very easy to play due to its excellent and responsive controls. And being an arcade-style game, virtually anyone can pick it up and learn to play quickly, which means it can appeal to almost any gamer out there. Perhaps most importantly, Tecmo Bowl's greatest legacy and achievement could be the important groundwork it laid for its sequel, Tecmo, which not only was the best football game on the NES, but to this day remains one of the best football games of all time. But that's a review for another day. I loves me some Tecmo Bowl, one of the best sports titles released for the NES. And the two-player mode, absolutely outstanding. I just wish I had a friend here so I could demonstrate it for you. Sorry, Rob, I didn't know you liked sports games. Fine. You want to play me? How about we do a little 46 preview? I'll be New York and, well, there's no New England team here, but you can pick whatever team you want. You ready to lose, you cheap piece of plastic? Let's go! How could I lose that badly to you? You don't even have any thumbs! Wait a second. Were you looking at my controller? Did you see what plays I selected? Why, you dirty, filthy cheater! Oh, how cute! Rob.